Okay, we've got a pretty good sized group here. Let's just get started. This is the February meeting of the koha-US Acquisitions SIG. This is just a group that gets together once a month to talk about all things acquisitions in Koha, share tips, tricks, stumbling blocks that you've run into, anything, so that we can all kind of help each other do a better job at our acquisitions. So I do have one thing from, okay, so back up a little bit. Koha is, the community of Koha is currently working on a refresh of the acquisitions module. They've started calling it the refresh now. And there's a group that meets regularly to kind of talk about the different aspects of what we want to see in the new refresh. And so I do have one question from that group that I wanted to run past you guys, just to see if there are any clever ideas out there. I can, I mentioned it in the email that I sent. Basically, we're looking at the side navigation in the acquisitions module, and I just want to see, I'm going to share my screen real quick. And then let me also say that once we kind of go through this, we'll have a time for people to ask questions and do that kind of thing. So if you have quite, if you see something as we're going through this, or you have a question, save them up and we'll get to those in a few minutes. So let's see. So I have, I always forget to click that share button one more time. So can you see, yeah, you should be able to see the acquisitions homepage. This is on the koha-US demonstration module instance. So there's no personal patron data that we care about or anything here, so we can kind of run through this, make changes, do whatever. So this is the acquisitions home landing page, if you will, currently. The question came up is, do we want to make changes to this navigation that would make our lives a little easier? Anything like that. One thing that we did decide on already was the budgets and funds would get moved into the acquisitions module, so that, when you click on funds, I'll do it. And nothing happens. Okay, click on funds, and then you can see you're in administration now, and it's kind of tricky to get back to acquisitions from here. It would be nice if that acquisitions navigation was available here so that you could more easily get back to the acquisitions page. So I think as of the last meeting, these were going to get moved under acquisitions instead of administration. So that would be one thing. The other thought would be, let's see how, yeah, I agree, Wally. So under e-resource management, see how their navigation kind of has levels, if you will. One of the questions was, do we want to do something like that in acquisitions, to have maybe, the budget and then funds underneath it, those kinds of things. I don't, other ideas. Oh, where did that go?
I do like that, Rhonda, in the levels or whatever, especially if it can be collapsible. In other words, you don't want to, if you have a lot of different funds or something that you're working with, you don't want all of them cluttering up your page. So if you could click on funds and then it drop down, what I mean when I say
Yep.
collapsible or whatever, I think
Mhm.
that would be definitely very helpful.
Yeah. So, right now we just have budgets and funds. Um, but what you're thinking is if you uncollapsed the funds, you could see the specific ones and go directly to whichever fund you're interested in. It could be, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, that could only reflect the current or the active funds, so that you don't get all of the previous years. You could do the same thing with budgets if you wanted to just show the active budgets. Usually that would just be one, but I know there's libraries that have multiple budgets, for different areas or different library groups or different things like that. Um, so yeah, that would be an idea. Any other thoughts that you have about, how this might be redesigned just to make navigation through the acquisitions module more intuitive, more um, workflow wise, easier, just things like that.
This is Marci,
Sure. Hi, Marcy.
and I know with the last upgrade, the search orders that is now taking up my whole screen
Right.
to where to see my budget, I have to scroll the way down and then I have to show all entries to see the whole thing. If that was collapsible or a side navigation thing, because
This,
I know the order search is kind of hidden up at the top,
right.
but it's like I use that maybe once a year. So it's just a,
Yeah.
a strange thing to be front and center and take up that much real estate.
Yep. I agree. We look at our budgets way more frequently than we do search orders,
Yeah.
than we search through orders. So yeah, I would totally agree with that.
I echo that as well. I was just about to bring that point up, Marcy, so thank you for bringing it up.
Okay, so your thoughts are we could collapse the search orders as part of this. We could put it in the side navigation, just
Yeah.
have a search orders there.
Yes. Because
Okay,
before they did that, it looks like in the green kind of header bar, that was how you got into the order search. So it was kind of hidden before. I do agree that.
yeah,
But if it was under the side navigation, I think that's a more natural place to look for it if you need it.
okay,
And that would get our budget back front and center.
okay. Just making some notes here. Okay, good suggestion. Yeah, and pretty much, yeah, so you got to do that.
Rhonda, I had a suggestion for vendors.
Okay.
It would be nice to have vendors on the left-hand side as well as there in the center search. I haven't been able to locate it over on the left, especially since there's already duplication with what's on the center screen and then what's also on the left, like suggestions is in both places. And then I've always been curious as to why search vendors is just an open search bar and it doesn't populate the list of your vendors underneath it like it does with your funds. Like I'd love to be able to click on each of my vendors underneath this search bar. So like maintain the search bar, but also have my vendors populate as hyperlinks on this screen, similar to the way that funds is set up down at the bottom or on other places.
Okay, so here I clicked on it. We will wait. So you could search here, but they're all listed.
This is for vendors,
Okay,
navigating into your vendors.
okay,
So the vendor search bar there, but underneath that search bar, if you could have the list of your vendors and not just the open search.
okay. So more something like this
Hmm.
on
Ro-
the,
Rhonda, go back. I think what she's looking at is over on the right-hand side where it has fund and you have all funds. If
oh,
correct me if I'm wrong, something like that. Is that what you're talking about,
That
Amy?
would be great. Yeah, a drop-down menu of some kind would be fantastic, especially since, I mean, for my library system, we have a small handful of vendors. We're working with like 5. So if it was just populated as hyperlinks on the screen, that would be fine. But I know other places have large lists of vendors, so being able to click a drop-down list and choose from within the drop-down list would also be great.
all right.
There's
If you
this,
click on the arrow up at the top in the green, try
This-
that.
This arrow, which one? This one?
That one. Because that brings my vendors up.
Oh, okay, okay.
there's a slightly different version of the vendor dropdown. If you go to the invoices search, it's a little different style where you can start
Oh.
typing and it'll autocomplete for you too. So if you go to that second line,
Line. Oh, yeah, and that's kind of a drop-downy looking thing too. So,
Yeah, that's a nice version. I like that.
oops, I can't spell Ingram. It's probably a deep-seated problem that I have anyway, so Ingram is on our.
I brought this up like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, maybe even more years ago. And I can't remember if I created a bug on it, but what I recall was at the time they told me, well, some places have thousands of vendors.
Mhm.
And so they kind of nixed the drop down thing. And it was not, we have so few vendors that it's kind of like, well, it's not a huge deal for us, but it would be nice. So I don't know if the number of vendors still makes it sort of a non-starter, because some libraries are that way, but it
Mhm.
really does seem like it needs either a drop down or an autocomplete
Yeah.
function.
Yeah, Barbara, I would think that if you had the like in this screen where you started typing, when she clicked on the arrow or clicked there, it gave a small list of 6 or 8 of them, but then you narrow it down by typing in. It seems like if you had 1,000 or so, that would quickly help you get to a smaller list that wouldn't be.
Yeah, because at this point I could just pick Ingram. I wouldn't even have to finish typing Ingram in.
And maybe the drop-down list would show you your most recently used vendors instead of like your ABC vendors kind of things, just to make it easier to find who you last looked at kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's definitely alphabetical order here. Yeah. All right. Started to write something down here. Drop down, autocomplete on the like on the invoice. Because I'm thinking if they can do it on this invoices page, they should be able to do it on the main page. My thought. Just kind of replicate that vendor search thing right here and have it, like if you start typing, it will, because now you just kind of got to go for it and fill it all the rest of the way in. I like that.
this might be a matter of personal preference, but I feel like when we first migrated to Koha, clicking on the invoices link there would
Mhm.
pull up a search result of open invoices automatically. And like something for my workflow that would be really handy and maybe doesn't work for other reasons. If there was a way to just click on open orders at my branch, like just open orders for me to look at. And I could see, or oh, I'm sorry, open invoices, not open orders. Um, and then I could just see a list there. Um, just see what needs to be addressed. And maybe that doesn't make sense on the left side. Maybe, um,
Yeah, so having, let me go back. Something over here that just said open invoices.
yeah,
Um,
especially if it could group it by, I mean, this might be getting more fancy, but if it could group it by vendor. So I could say like, hey, I've got 4 vendors with Midwest, I've got 6 with Gobi, and I could just see them all and like know, have a sense of what I have coming in.
Okay, all right. So open invoices for my branch by vendor. Okay. Yeah, that would be very helpful. So invoices, and maybe underneath you could have open invoices, or yeah, that's where the developers come in. We just tell them what we want. Okay, these are good ideas. So so far we have searching orders, have that in the side navigation rather than taking up all this real estate here. And that would move our budgets back up higher on the screen. Then for the vendors, have a drop down autocomplete kind of thing like we have on the invoices page, put that on this page as well. And then include a open orders for my branch, or by vendor. Maybe that's what they need to do is, open invoices by branch. Another option, open invoices by vendor. Do a couple of different things underneath invoices to get you to those that information directly. So,
Hey, Rhonda,
yes.
this is Marci again.
Hey,
Are they just looking for feedback on the landing page, or?
I'll take them anything.
Okay, so this is on both the invoice. If you search invoices by, say, a vendor or a date range, it will bring up a browse list. Same
Okay.
thing with baskets. If you click on show baskets for one of your vendors, it
Okay.
brings up a browse list, which you can sort, and that's super helpful. Neither the baskets nor the invoices has a column for total, like what the total basket amount is or what the total invoice amount is. And there are times when I'm trying to see why my spreadsheet is off or whatever, and it would be super convenient not to have to click into the order to see what the total of that order was.
Okay. So on this screen, so I'm in the baskets
Yes.
of it. So add, what you're suggesting is make another column available that would give you the total of the basket.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then do that same thing for invoices. So
Yes.
So that looks like, can I search here? I don't know if oh yeah, we do have invoices. So add another column here, this invoice number, and this is the total.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That.
Rhonda,
Yes.
can you go back to the acquisitions homepage and then scroll all the way down to show the funds?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not totally committed to this, and I don't know if other people would even want it or not, but
Mm-hmm.
so we've got the budget amount, the ordered, the spent, and the total available, but sometimes I would like to know what the total, like, I guess I'd call it total committed. So a column that would be a total of the total spent plus the total ordered encumbered, which I've committed. So I'm not having just the total available money, but I have a column that gives me, so I don't have to add the spent and the ordered. And that's not a big deal. And maybe nobody would, use it. But I guess if they had it, you could always have it where you do or don't display the column.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else ever wants that kind of information.
This is Marci again. I think that would be useful. It would also be useful if there was another column that would show the percentage that you were spent or the percentage of what you had available. Either of those would be useful. That I could look and see, oh wow, I'm way overspent in my fiction fund this month. Just seeing that percentage of the budget, because I'm doing that separately on a spreadsheet each month to just do a little check-in with where we were at on spending, but it might be nice to just have that percentage on the screen if Koha can do the math.
I
We had
agree.
that, we had that, we had a little bar graph that showed each budget, how much was
Yeah.
spent in each budget. And I think Lucas just threw that in there. We recently migrated to our own Koha, and it's not there anymore. I just noticed. So
Mhm.
I'll have to ask Lucas, but that's something I think that you could just ask Lucas to put in there for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Barbara had it.
Yes, we're using it, and it is helpful, but it is, some JavaScript, I guess, and it does seem like having percentages when you're working with money should sort of be a built-in kind of function.
Yeah. So Barbara, we used to have it and then we upgraded and lost it. Do you still have it?
I have it currently not on the acquisitions homepage, but when you click into a fund, and I guess that goes to your actual, does that display click on a fund there, Rhonda?
Okay.
On
Okay.
this view, I do still have it, but it did disappear from the acquisitions homepage. So it's somehow targeting this page, but not the other one right now.
Okay. All right. Because I'm wondering if we put a bug in and say this little JavaScript thing that we like would be really helpful to have that as part of the base code of Koha, because I think it's really helpful to be able to see. Does everybody kind of know what we're talking about? It's like it's over top of the total available. It was like a little green, it would color in this column as much, based on the percentage that you had spent. Is there also like a percentage number in there, Barbara, or not?
I can share my screen if
Okay.
if I can remember how to do it.
Yeah, I will stop sharing mine.
So I always mess this up, so.
I do too. So I always forget the last share there, you know, it's like I pick the right one what I want to share and then I forget to share it.
Is that showing?
Yes.
And so over on the right-hand side, you get the percent and you get a green for where you are. And then I've got something going on there in the top one where it's showing red for a negative.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, but it does seem like either when we use this JavaScript, if you tried to export this, then you have to deal with like taking out stuff like in an Excel spreadsheet or something because it doesn't export very well. I think if we have this kind of information, it probably ought to be in a separate column so that the percentage is in a separate column and not in this total available, because it kind of makes an we still have to bring a lot of things into Excel to do calculations. And I think this does kind of mess things up sometimes.
Okay. Can you send me a screenshot of this, Barbara?
Yeah.
Because ours isn't, well, maybe ours is working. I don't know. I haven't gone to the fund page, but I think that would be, well, we could actually just open a bug in Bugzilla and ask that this JavaScript code gets added to the base code.
Yeah.
Because I think like Marci said, the percentage information, just at a glance, you can kind of see, oh yeah, I'm good. Or, ooh, what happened here? Why is this red? Once you get halfway through the year, you kind of expect those total available line, the green stuff to be kind of halfway across the column. And I do miss that we don't have that right now. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. Do you want, I can open the ticket and Barbara, if you want to comment on it and show the picture of it.
Sure. And
then we can get that out into the world. Because
that works.
Yeah, because Monday Minutes, they were talking about, two or three times ago, trying to get some of this JavaScript stuff that everybody uses into the base code so that it's not prone to all of a sudden stop working when you upgrade. I'm sure the reason it's not working is just, the tags have changed when they redid the screen, redid the budget thing. So, if they can just kind of keep up with that themselves, I think that would be great. Way to bring up something, Marci, that we can take some action on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We're halfway through our time. Does anybody else have any ideas or things that you've thought about that would make your life a little easier?
Rhonda.
Yes.
Just looking at this screen here, I realized that this particular one doesn't have any column settings. And for some libraries, like here, if you look at mine, I have, base level ordered and total ordered. They're kind of like repetitious. So do I really need to see? Whereas some other libraries might. So maybe this one is a screen or a screen that hasn't had the columns being able to display or not display. They haven't done that for this particular page. That would be nice.
Okay, and this is the fund page, right?
This is, it's the budget _ period. No, it's the ACT budgets. .pl page, whatever that's.
Okay. AC or AQ.
It's the budget page from administration instead of from acquisitions.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Because the fund page in acquisitions, you are able to do the columns, but from the administration, it looks like you can't at this point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good observation. You probably haven't gotten around to updating this one. Okay. Any other ideas or thoughts about how to make?
I have a couple of things that would make my life easier.
Okay.
One of them is when I receive, we don't use EDI here, so I just receive everything individually. And when I do, it would be so awesome if the item had a hold, if it would pop up when I receive it, instead of having to wait till I'm done and then going down and look at the list. And if I just had the item in hand, I receive it. If it's got a hold, throw the hold slip in right then.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when receiving, okay.
Okay, and the other thing is from the normal view,
Yeah.
after items have been received, or I guess maybe even before they're received, from the normal view and you click on acquisitions,
Mm-hmm.
it would be awesome if the budget that it was ordered from was one of the columns.
Okay, so let me just a second. I'll share my screen.
You've got invoice, basket group, basket. Yeah, you've got all those columns. But if we're trying to figure out who ordered it, then we have to go back into the basket or back into the invoice to figure out who ordered the item.
Okay, so if I do this, so here, oh, we got everybody here. So if I go here,
and I click on the acquisitions tab,
uh-huh,
and there's all of that information, but the actual fund, I guess it's a fund, not a budget. The fund that it was ordered from, we have a lot of funds, and it would just be nice to know.
okay, so this is normal, tab.
Sometimes items will be brought back to us because we cataloged in the 800s, and really the 300s was the person that ordered it. So,
Oh,
for
yeah,
example,
right, yeah, that happens here too. Add fund column. Okay. I gotta correct this minute.
thank you. That's all I have to say.
All right. All right. Can't promise this. Go ahead, John.
Oh, so I have one. I've mentioned it before. It's a minor thing, and maybe it's outside of what they're asking. But if there was a way to click on the button that is the cancel order or cancel order and delete catalog record that you can get from the basket page,
Yep.
if you could click a version of that from the orders search, because what ends up happening when I have to cancel orders is they're out of print, they can't be fulfilled for some reason. And then I'll have to go to a bunch of orders. It'll take a minute for the order to come up because it's got to pull up, 350 things. And then I'll have to scroll through that or search through that to get to it, click the button, wait for it to display the whole order again. So if I could do it just by that line and then not have to pull down all that data every single time I want to cancel an order, because I know the order line I want to cancel because they say we canceled this order and they give you the number. It would save a lot of clicking and waiting for the server to respond.
Okay, so walk me through that again. Well, hopefully we have enough information here. So you're on,
So if you go to like order search, I don't know what orders are in this test database, but if you
okay.
were to search for an order, anything,
Ooh, what happens if I just say search? Okay, Oop, there we go.
like, so if from this page, which I think it has all of the information it needs in this list already, it's got the basket number, it's got the order line, just a button to click and cancel that one. So I could just search for it, cancel it, done, without having to load multiple other screens that take a long time.
Right. Order search. Add. Cancel. So is there anything that you can, are there any actions? Not really on this one, but if we'd add another column for cancel order, because now then you'd have to click on the video, and this doesn't have much in it, so it doesn't take long to pull up. And then you have to go and find Downton Abbey or whatever here. And
Yeah, and it's always on the far right side of the screen. You might have to scroll sideways on this, but
let's see. Scroll.
or maybe the columns aren't set on this one. But for me, the cancel order is the last column.
Okay. That's weird. Because I would have expected to see that.
I think you need to reopen the basket.
You don't have to reopen it because, and maybe it's the version that this test server is on, because that was one of the really nice changes they made, is that you didn't have to open the basket, cancel the order, and then close the basket again. And so that was a big improvement, but then it's still a little small. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Okay. So I reopened it, and then it gave me the cancel order, modify. So it gave me two more columns. So maybe this is just an old, I can double check.
It might be an admin, like a setting too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense.
And
Okay.
Rhonda, if you
Yeah.
can back up to the previous screen, in that canceled order column, those
Mhm.
are textual links. It might be nice if those were styled as buttons. So all that wording, because there's two actions there, cancel order and delete, but
Yep.
they're all it's kind of all run together. And it seems
Mhm.
like if it was, like buttons or something, it would be more obvious and take you less time to figure out,
What's on?
you can accidentally click the wrong thing there because you don't really know. And then I wanted to mention again, I think that in the base code for the order column where it has the received in parentheses, that needs to be styled as like red or whatever. We have CSS in ours, or maybe it's JavaScript to show that. But for us, a big thing of moving through this stuff quickly is like color and things that draw our eyes to, okay, well, this is received. And so I'm not looking for that one. I'm looking for, the open orders, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So here, and
right.
We got that same, I got that code from you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where this is red, just to make it pop for you if you.
And also on whatever screen, because I'm not doing acquisitions daily, so I have a hard time remembering what displays on what screen, but on the screen where you're receiving and it does show that you have holds, maybe that is styled some way, but I don't know if it's regularly bold or if we created it bold. But
Oh,
making the fact that there are holds on the items that you're receiving kind of stand out.
uh-huh.
And I could be misremembering exactly what is showing these days, but having it be either bold or red or something that
I think
draws your eye to it would be nice.
received should probably be its own column, like some kind of status column, because I was just playing around since you started talking about that in my system. And when you export it to an Excel sheet, if you want to say, give this to somebody else, what ends up happening is the order column just says received if it's received parenthetically and doesn't have the title anymore. But the ones that haven't been received will have the title listed. So if you wanted to
That's
give somebody like,
terrible.
here's the status of your order, it would take out all the names.
No, that's not what we want. Oh, it's over there. There, that's really clever.
I've
Okay,
never noticed that before. That is a very good point.
yeah. That is really not cool. Okay, so this is on the orders. So if you export to cell, oops, received, received out. Okay,
Rhonda,
yeah,
maybe another reason that that received should be like its own status column or something is I think if you click on the up down arrows to order this column, it's ordering it by title, I think.
right.
And if you had a status column, then you would be able to sort that by received and not received, and that could be helpful.
Yep. Yeah, because, well, what happens is when it sorts the received all to the top because it starts with an open parent. So all the received ones get sorted to the top and then in alphabetical order, and all the not received ones get sorted after the received ones in alphabetical order. So it's kind of a, if you're not aware of that, it can be really confusing.
If you click on the arrow, then it will do the reverse order. So the ones that aren't received will show up first.
Yep, in reverse alphabetical order. Which is, I mean, you can work with that. But yeah, that is all right.
Also, I don't know if it's necessarily on this page or it may be on the receiving page. I think this is still true. When you sort by title, it's not taking into account A, N, and D. So your everything that starts with, the whatever sorts way down at the bottom. And it didn't, I'm pretty sure it didn't used to be that way. And I'd have to go looking to see which pages that actually is occurring on, but I'm pretty sure it still occurs someplace. And it seems like it should account for taking those out of the alphabetical sorting.
Yeah.
I can poke around and see what I can find where that's still occurring.
Okay. For whatever reason, it's not letting me close this basket right now. So I can't, let's see if I go to, oh, there's not. Okay. It's closed now for whatever reason. So if I always forget because we don't do this. Where do I go to receive?
You have to go to invoices and then pull up an invoice.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
always throws me through a loop.
Uh, we're going to call that our invoice and we're going to use Amazon vendor.
And actually, I think you might have to do it through the vendor page, actually.
Yeah, I
Like you
think
go
we always start with vendors
Okay.
and then we select our vendor and then we search for what we want to receive.
All right. So we go here. Ugh, I do that every time. All right. So
That was, you could do it that way, Rhonda. There's
Oh,
a
you can?
receipt. There's a
Oh, that's
receipt shipments little link at the, yeah, right there.
That's right. Like I said, we have EDI. I don't ever do this. Oops. Okay. So refresh my memory now. So on this page, if we go to receive something,
There's a receive link
over
right
here.
in there. And you know, those might be good to be styled as buttons too.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, they're fine the way they are, but it could be nice.
Even if it's not a button, it would be nice to have them separated just a little bit more.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So if I click on receive, then I get this. Now, whoever, I forgot who asked the question before, but is it at this place that you wanted some kind of indication that there was a hold on this?
Yeah, it would be nice if just when you click receive and then you put the cost in. When you push confirm, that just a little thing would pop up or something say, oh, there's a hold on this book, or there's 3 holds, or there's 12 holds.
Right.
But I don't know if that's possible, but that would make my life easier.
Marci, almost kind of like you're talking about when we check an item in. In other words, confirm would almost act like a check-in and pop up that you have a hold on it, and then you could just act on it right there.
Yes,
So
that would be great.
Yeah. So right now there's no indication here of holds at all. Now, Barbara, you were saying there was something that you had bold or something. What was that?
It's in a different view. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's not on this particular view. Also, I like that suggestion, but it seems like there could be libraries that might not want like a hold pop-up for all kinds of stuff. So if it was a system preference that people could opt in or opt out to accommodate different scenarios of workflows.
Yeah.
I think it's on this view, maybe, Rhonda, where if it had a hold, it shows in the far right column.
All right. Let's go to Downton Abbey. Please hold. I know I am in here somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to place a hold. All right, so I have a hold on this. Wow, that is a crazy number there. And then we will just back up so I don't have to figure out. All right, refresh. 1 holds left.
So the 1 items left and the 1 holds left. If those were different colors or something, it might be nice to be able to distinguish between that information. And then I think again on this screen, not only the receive and transfer column, but the cancel order and the cancel order and delete and the items, that maybe if there were a little more separation between those different actions, it would be sort of easier on the eyes to be selecting the correct thing you're intending to do.
Yep, that sounds right. Okay.
But I also understand not wanting to make the page too long, I guess, you know, so to really like increase the amount of scrolling a person has to
Right.
do if this happened to be an order that has, you know, 150 items in it or something.
Yeah.
Is there a way to get a scrolling bar to go side to side? I don't have that.
Yeah, not on, I mean, I think the scrolling bar shows up if you have too many columns, but to fit on the page, well, here. Yeah, so then the scrolling bar shows up if you can't fit it all on your.
If you have one of the rollers, I don't know if you see that little roller thing.
Yep.
If you press down on it and then just kind of drag your mouse, it acts as like a way to side scroll.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yay. We just got all more productive.
Can I ask a quick question going back to the holds pop-up thing that we were talking about?
Yep.
When working, one of the things we do, because we still have not moved into the acquisitions module at all. And so when we receive a book, we check it in. That's how it transfers from ordered to active in the catalog, I guess you would call it. Yep. And that's when the pop-up saying you have a hold on it comes into play. If you're doing it through the acquisitions and you click receive, is that the same thing? Does that do the same thing as I do when we check in an item when it's received? Does that make sense? What I'm asking?
Different. It's different.
Okay, so how does Koha know that it's no longer ordered status, that's actually in the catalog as an active item and ready for circulation?
When you check it in, like you do.
Okay, so hitting, so I guess here's where I'm going with the flying the ointment type thing, going back to that. If you click receipt or click confirm in that other page that we were at, and it pops up the hold and we issue the hold slip and all that, the book is not actually ready to be in circulation, correct?
True. Yeah.
So we would need it to have, when you click confirm, that it also checks it in, or in other words, I guess I'm seeing that there's a step that needs to be added there, because if I can just see a staff member who is working with this and just kind of processing through, clicking the confirm, pressing the hold, click, and then the hold pops up. You put the hold out there, you go and put it on the hold shelf or in their locker or whatever. That book still doesn't really exist yet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there needs to be one more process involved or something.
Yeah, I think who was it again that wanted the little pop-up for?
That was me. I said Sheri. Yeah.
So do you want that just for information purposes? Like, oh, this has got a hold.
Yeah, that would probably work better, huh? Because if it brought the hold up, it'd be a couple days before the book is really available. So we don't want the hold we don't want it, to trap the hold for the patron. We just want to know that it's there.
Yeah, just for information purposes, like, oh, okay,
you can put it in a different stack or put it on a different shelf on the cart so that you have all your holds together, and you can maybe process those first to get those out to the patrons. I mean, yes, for information purposes. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that's kind of what I was assuming in my brain, that you just do it. Okay, oh, this one's got a hold that has, in our hierarchy of priorities to get things out, that's a top priority. So let's move that one ahead of, all these other ones that don't have holds.
Rhonda, another thing I think that might need to be considered on that is it would depend on whether you're receiving items one by one, or now we are receiving them as that batch process.
Right.
So if I'm doing it in batch and I'm receiving, 15 items and 3 have holds, how would that work? That kind of thing. And I don't know how it should work, but there are different ways of receiving there. So
Okay.
just to take that into consideration.
Yeah, let me see. All right, so let me add that note here. Okay. All right. Okay, we've spent our hour and it went by so fast. So if you have questions that come up during the month, please use the email listserv or whatever it's called to ask questions, because we want to keep the discussion going during the month as well. And then our next meeting, I think, since February and March are the same, up until we get to March 29. So next month, we will be meeting on the 17th of March at the same time as this month. And we will continue to learn more exciting things about Koha and acquisitions. And I hope everybody has a wonderful month until we meet again. And we will see you all next month.
Rhonda, actually, I might just email you quick about a question I had separate from this. So you'll get an email in a couple of minutes.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yep, sounds good. Okay, then, yeah, we'll talk to everybody again in a month, and have a great rest of your February and first part of March. I guess for some people, I guess that next meeting may end up in the middle of spring break week for some school districts or whatever. So you may be running around with your hair on fire. Who knows? It'll be interesting. So, yep, have a good month, everyone. I will stop sharing this.